At 3:47 a.m. on August 2nd, 2016, hackers breached the Bitfinex cryptocurrency exchange and vanished with 119,756 bitcoins, worth $72 million that morning, worth $4.5 billion today. The digital thieves left no fingerprints, no broken windows, no smoking guns. Just empty wallet addresses where billions once lived. The crime scene existed only in code. The weapon was mathematics itself. 6 years later, federal agents arrested a married couple in Manhattan. They found rap videos, gold coins, and a spreadsheet labeled Lord Voldemort. But the real story wasn't about amateur money launderers or even sophisticated hackers. This is another story where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it looks. The surface story seems straightforward enough. Cryptocurrency exchange gets hacked. Criminals steal digital money. Law enforcement tracks them down through blockchain forensics. Justice prevails in the digital age. Bitfinex was one of the world's largest Bitcoin trading platforms in 2016. Millions of users trusted it with their digital wealth. The company promised military-grade security, cold storage, and institutional-level protection. Their marketing materials featured images of bank vaults and Swiss mountains. The hack appeared to exploit a flaw in Bitfinex's multi-signature security system. Multiple digital keys were supposed to protect user funds, like requiring 3 different bank managers to open a safety deposit box simultaneously. Except someone had figured out how to pick all 3 locks at once. The stolen bitcoins moved through a labyrinth of digital addresses. Each transaction was recorded forever on the blockchain, creating a permanent trail of evidence. The hackers seemed to understand they were writing their crimes in digital stone, yet they proceeded anyway. For years, the money sat motionless, frozen by its own notoriety. The real mechanism was far more elegant and terrifying than a simple computer hack. Someone hadn't just broken into a digital bank vault. They had exposed the foundational lie upon which the entire cryptocurrency revolution was built. Bitfinex didn't actually store user funds the way they claimed. The exchange was essentially running a fractional reserve system, lending out customer deposits while promising full backing. When users bought bitcoins, they received digital IOUs instead of actual cryptocurrency. The company was a traditional bank masquerading as a revolutionary technology platform. The multi-signature security was theater. The real bitcoins were concentrated in hot wallets connected to the internet, making them vulnerable to precisely the kind of attack that occurred. It was like advertising an impregnable fortress while leaving the keys in the front door. The hackers understood something most people missed. Cryptocurrency exchanges weren't decentralized. They were the most centralized financial institutions in history. A handful of companies controlled the majority of all Bitcoin trading, holding private keys to billions in digital wealth. The system designed to eliminate trusted third parties had simply created new ones. Traditional banks face regulatory oversight, deposit insurance, and capital requirements. Cryptocurrency exchanges operated in a regulatory void, promising the security of banks while accepting none of the responsibilities. They were shadow banks for the digital age. When the Bitfinex hack occurred, the exchange made an extraordinary decision. Instead of declaring bankruptcy or seeking government bailout, they issued digital tokens to represent the stolen funds. Each affected user received BFX tokens equal to their losses. The company promised to buy back these tokens as they recovered financially. It was a brilliant sleight of hand. Bitfinex had essentially printed their own money to cover a $72 million hole. They transformed a criminal theft into a corporate debt instrument. The victims became creditors in their own robbery. Most remarkably, the scheme worked. The exchange gradually bought back the BFX tokens over the following months. Users who held onto their tokens were eventually made whole. The company spun the hack as proof of their resilience rather than evidence of their negligence. Other exchanges watched and learned. Getting hacked became an acceptable cost of doing business in the cryptocurrency world. The money trail led investigators through a digital underworld that revealed the true nature of cryptocurrency's promise. The stolen bitcoins moved through mixing services designed to obscure their origin. They flowed through decentralized exchanges that operated without know-your-customer requirements. They were converted into privacy coins that made tracking nearly impossible. Each step exploited a different aspect of the cryptocurrency ecosystem's anti-surveillance features. The same tools designed to protect political dissidents and privacy advocates became weapons for financial crime. The technology was morally neutral, but its applications were not. Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan, the couple eventually arrested for laundering the stolen funds, were not sophisticated criminal masterminds. Morgan performed embarrassing rap videos under the name Razzlecan. Lichtenstein kept detailed spreadsheets of his money laundering activities, including the Voldemort reference. They were caught because they made amateur mistakes with professional tools. They deposited laundered bitcoins into accounts tied to their real identities. They used the same internet addresses for both legal and illegal activities. They were digital natives who understood technology, but not tradecraft. The real criminals remained invisible. The Bitfinex hackers were never identified or prosecuted. They had successfully stolen billions of dollars and vanished into the cryptographic ether. Lichtenstein and Morgan were simply the weakest link in a chain that stretched back to unknown hands. The case revealed something profound about the new economy. The most successful criminals were no longer those who could pick locks or crack safes. They were mathematicians and programmers who understood that the greatest heists in history would be written in code. The names have changed, but the behavior hasn't. Every financial revolution creates new opportunities for old crimes. The same impulses that drove bank robberies in the 20th century now motivate cryptocurrency hacks in the 21st. Traditional financial crime required physical presence and violent confrontation. Digital crime happens at the speed of light across international borders. A teenager in North Korea can steal more money in one afternoon than Jesse James took in his entire career. Regulatory authorities struggle to keep pace with technological innovation. By the time lawmakers understand how a new financial system works, criminals have already figured out how to exploit it. The lag between innovation and regulation creates windows of opportunity that measured in billions of dollars. Today's cryptocurrency exchanges employ former government officials and implement compliance programs that rival traditional banks. They submit to regulatory oversight and carry insurance policies. The Wild West is slowly being tamed, but new frontiers keep opening. Decentralized finance protocols now handle hundreds of billions in assets with minimal oversight. Non-fungible tokens create new markets for digital speculation. Central bank digital currencies promise to merge state power with blockchain technology. Each innovation carries the seeds of future scandals. The greatest crypto heist in history wasn't really about cryptocurrency at all. It was about trust, power, and the eternal human capacity for self-deception. We created a financial system designed to eliminate trust, then trusted institutions to manage it for us. The blockchain promised to make every transaction transparent and permanent. Yet most people interact with cryptocurrencies through opaque intermediaries that operate exactly like traditional banks. We built a decentralized technology and immediately centralized it. The future of money won't be determined by mathematics or cryptography. It will be shaped by the same forces that have always controlled finance: political power, regulatory capture, and institutional self-interest. The tools change, but the game remains the same. History doesn't repeat. It just encrypts itself differently.